All right, are we ready for this?
Of course.
I got a
A
sore
nice
throat.
our new theme song. Sore throat, is
Uh,
it do you feel sick or is it allergies? Tis the season.
it feels like my lymph nodes under my neck are swollen, and
Ooh.
they are making it somewhat difficult to swallow. And when uh, when you take your tongue and you put it to like the back of your, or the top of your mouth,
Mm-hmm.
there's like a slight amount of pain there.
Ooh.
And I'm hoping that it gets better. I've been drinking tea and taking ibuprofen.
Wise
Uh,
choices. Hopefully it's
but I
not a little
have,
strep throat or something. That's always
ooh,
terrible.
that would
Always
be
sucks.
really, really that would be the worst thing. I
Yeah.
was thinking, I hope it's not COVID, um, because I haven't really had COVID, but I feel fine. I feel everything's fine. Just this little tiny bit
Could
of
be it could just
discomfort.
be it could be allergies just fucking with your glands. That
It could be. The
like
weather
this
just
is
got all of a sudden really, really nice, and it's all
yeah.
the pollen is just like the trees are fucking
Yeah, you can just see it everywhere hovering in the
mm,
air. That's
hovering
what
in
I.
the
That's always
air.
rough about this time of year, because I get allergies pretty bad, like seasonal allergies. A lot of times, like I have to take allergy pill every morning. I have eye drops that I use before I put my contacts in. Got this whole fucking rigmarole that I got to do during the allergy season. But then it doesn't completely negate the symptoms. It just makes them tolerable. But then you're like, oh, am I getting sick or is it allergies? Like you never know. And it's
Yeah.
been fun the last couple of years with COVID because they have similar symptoms. And you're like, fuck, do I
Mhm.
have COVID or is it allergies? Do I just have a cold? Like, what is going on? And you just keep taking your allergy meds and go to work every day and hope you're not killing people.
What allergy meds do you take?
It's like the one I use right now is like a 24-hour non-drowsy. It's just like an Amazon brand one.
Oh,
I
okay.
used to take like Zyrtec or Claritin, but
Hmm.
these Amazon ones work just as well. And then the eye drops I use, are called Bday, and I ordered them on Amazon also. But a friend of mine that I work with, he gets allergies like I do, and so usually when allergy season kicks in, I just don't wear my contacts for like a month or two because it
Oh, because it
irritates my
like
eyes a lot.
holds them in. It
Yeah.
holds the pollen in.
But with the Bday eye drops, if I drop one into each of my eyes and then put my contacts in, it's usually fine for most of the day. So that's helpful.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
use Visine every once in a while, because I have fucked up eyes. I don't even know really what's going on.
They just get dry,
The left eye just leaks every day now, like on its
like
own.
like out
Not
of your tear duct. It just
Yeah,
sort of
just
comes
tear
out.
duct. Like it, if I leave it, it does that thing like when you have sleep on your eye, it gets like crust, like
Mm-hmm.
it solidifies. I don't, it doesn't, it's not bad, but it just does it, and it's
Annoying.
uncomfortable and annoying, but I kind of, just got used to it. And my eyes get really they get really dry, and they get really weirded out by light sometimes, like the fluorescent lights in the buildings.
Mm-hmm.
If it's too bright sometimes, I have sensitive eyes. I have little pussy eyes.
Yeah. Well, we're both getting to that age too, where you just weird
I
shit
know.
starts happening to your body. Like
Fucking
stuff just starts wearing out and doesn't work like it used to for some
I,
reason.
yep, we're gonna
Like
go.
not like major ways. It's just small, subtle changes that just it's like you hit 30 and then you're on the very slow decline that you can kind of slow down more if you take care of yourself. But if your genetics suck, then you might be in for a hell of a ride regardless of what you do. Um, but yeah, it's I wake up most mornings with kind of a stiff back for a few minutes. I gotta like do some stretches every morning now to kind of
Hmm.
loosen up. That didn't happen 10 years ago. I used to just get out of bed and go about my business. So it's those little things, they start adding up.
Yeah, what else is shitty? My knees sometimes just suck. My calves just suck sometimes. Um, Otherwise, I'm doing real good. I took a long walk today. I worked out all week. I worked like
Hmm.
50 something hours
Jesus.
in the last 5 days. I worked all Memorial Day weekend, all Memorial weekend,
Hmm.
and all 3 days worked open to close. And it was busy as shit. We sold a lot of stuff.
Did you guys have like sales or something for
We had a
Memorial
sale
Day? Is that
going
why?
on,
Oh, okay.
but it wasn't a Memorial Day sales
Mhm.
specifically, but it was going on while that was going on because we have sales every week.
I would think that
Um,
Memorial Day would be a little slower because I feel like a lot of people, especially in Oregon, usually go camping for Memorial. It's like the
they,
first big weekend of camping that kind of kickstarts the season.
do you remember the weather this weekend?
Yeah, it wasn't awesome. Yeah,
It
but I
was
mean that
rainy
doesn't.
as fuck here, though.
Oh, really? Like it
Yeah.
was like Saturday it was like raining kind of on and off, but then yesterday I don't know, like Sunday, Monday, I guess I think Sunday was just kind of cloudy and then
Yeah,
yesterday
Monday
was
was
fine.
pretty decent. But isn't
Yeah.
that how it is if you go camping, like early season, is you go and then the first 2 days are rainy and you just
Mhm.
sort of fucking push through it and you're just like kind of miserable because you can't go on walks, you can't go swimming. And then the last day, as you're packing everything up, it's all fucking nice. And then you go home.
Yeah. Then you go
I
back to
fucking
work.
fell down in my chair somehow. I got so comfortable. I don't know what I was doing. I realized I was like almost
Just
to my neck.
sliding further
I
and
was
further
almost
down.
gone out of my fucking seat. I got to
It's
sit up
okay.
straight like a
Like an
fucking
adult.
guy, like an adult.
Yeah, that's your 30+ year old spine just giving out.
Oh,
You're just turning into
it's not
jelly in
giving
your
out.
back.
I'm doing good. I actually been working on strategic
Strategic.
strategic neck stretches.
Oh, perfect.
I was gonna say strategic neck exercises, um, but that's I don't know why.
Yeah, that sounds
Um,
like it gets you into hot water if you weren't careful. Like the wrong person
oh
misheard you saying
no,
exercise,
it's
but
like a exercise, like
I
I'm
don't know.
exercising your demons. Um, that sounds like racist against witches.
That sounds like racist against
Against
Mexicans.
um no neck stretches because I have a really bad like kink in my left lower neck
Mhm.
area, and so I watched some videos on stretches, and I've been just like doing a shit ton of stretches all day, like rapid, fast, not taking my time stretches. Like I just like rank on my
Isn't it
neck a
seems
lot.
like to defeat the purpose. Like stretches are usually meant to be kind of a
Yeah,
slow,
meditation kind of thing.
meditative.
No.
Exactly. You're just like,
I don't have time for I don't have time for that shit. I need to get my neck fixed. No, I try to slow down on them, but I get a little impatient with stretching. You know, like people count when they stretch. So I'll grab my leg and I'll just go, oh, that's enough. Like I'm not
One,
fucking
two, three,
yeah,
done.
no. I guarantee if you actually counted, it'd be like 1,000, and I'm bored
Just
immediately.
dropping your leg and immediately
I
going
just
out. Yeah.
you just to stretch, you just pick a limb and pull on it real hard for 2 seconds,
Yeah,
and then you're
exactly.
done.
Yeah.
You rot, and then you're done.
Stretching has like amazing benefits, but I never have the patience to really like commit to it properly. It's more like if something feels a little stiff, I'm like, okay, I better spend some extra time, a few extra seconds stretching out this particular part of my
Yeah.
body. But, before I go for a run, I just, I grab my ankle and pull it up and, do the basic leg stretches. And then I just go out for a run. I don't really commit a whole lot to a lot of stretching, but which might destroy me at some point in my
And then
life.
you wake up with a shitty back.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
exactly.
do some yoga, some back bending yoga, and it'll help.
I actually have done some, downward dog and all that. It's
Oh, I
actually
don't
is
need to
pretty
hear about
helpful.
that. I don't need to hear about that. We don't need. We're talking about family safe exercises, neck
That's what,
exercises,
that's what the Fleeting Thoughts podcast is all about.
and
It's
you go
family friendly
straight to
chatter.
doggy style. Um, I had a birthday.
Oh
I
yes. Was it
turned.
on the 21st?
Nope, it was on the 18th.
Oh, okay.
But I had my little shindig on the 21st because it was a weekend, and I wanted it to be
Fuck, that was already 10 days ago. What
slightly
is
planned
happening?
out. I wanted it to be planned out, and I had some people over, and we ate cake and ice cream, and I still have almost 3 full things of ice cream, and
Oh my
I've
God.
been working on getting rid of them just every night, a little bit at a
Just a
time,
little
just digging
pace yourself.
a little hole of getting fatter.
It's a marathon, not a
The
sprint.
ice
So.
creams. It's a marathon to diabetes.
Yeah.
That's how you get diabetes, is take your time. That was nice. I turned 38 years old, and
38. Wow. I thought you were like 36.
Yeah, I look
maybe.
super young.
Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing a great job.
I look like 36. I'm like fucking so young.
I'm at my age now where people are like, yeah, that makes sense.
Aren't you
But
36?
no,
You're 30.
I'm gonna be 33 in July.
Oh wow. See, I don't know
Yeah.
how old people are. See, you seem like you're older.
That's what
than you are.
I get that a lot. I think it's because my male pattern baldness kicked in, and so it just puts
It
10
helps.
years on you, and you're just like, cool. So my only hope now is that my face just vaguely stays the same for another 10 years, and then people are like, "Wow, you look good for 42."
You'll catch up. Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
catch up. You'll be like, you're 50? What the fuck? You look
Yeah.
easy like 45.
Yeah, I was thinking 45 tops, man. You're looking good.
Yeah.
And then they
Yeah.
see pictures of you when you were in your 30s and like, fuck, you didn't change at all. Yeah, I just aged really rapidly early on.
You have Benjamin fuck you disease.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry I didn't make it out for your birthday. That really sucked because you invited me to a birthday thing. Another friend invited me to go to like a comic book convention in Salem. Everybody invited me to something, and then Vanessa, of course, was out of town on a fucking work event. And so I was like, fuck, there's nobody to watch the dogs. So if I leave them here all, for like 10 hours today, they're going to shit all in the house and not have anything to eat. So I was like, fuck.
Yeah. They're not self-sufficient. You got to make them, you got to give them little jobs.
They're self-sufficient.
Okay, go out for 8 hours and do your own thing for a while. Yeah. Daddy's going out.
Just open the front door and cut them loose. All right. If you guys are back, by the time I get back, I'll let
Here's
you back
some change for the bus. Take the bus. That'd be awesome.
You know what would happen is Reese would probably get Reese would just get adopted by some
he'd get a new couple, family,
and then Dizzy would get shot because she's a heinous.
Oh, she'd just go attack someone.
Yeah. She would just end up dead, and then
or she'd take over, or she'd become like a CEO of whatever little dog businesses are out there. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just through sheer dominance and growling.
She becomes a bouncer at like a nearby farm.
Yeah,
killing coyotes and foxes and shit
on her hind legs. Get out of here.
Do you anything cool for your birthday? Do you get any gifts, or was it more just having a little gathering and then?
Yeah, I got a couple of gifts, and my mom gave me some money to help me buy a new guitar potentially. And I have an Amazon wish list if anybody wants to buy me something like a cam girl. So yeah, it was good. It was very nice. It was pleasant. We had pizza. My mom bought some extra food. I had friends over. We drank a little and just talked mostly. Just hung out and talked.
Just really talked.
Everybody
opened up, and
well, it wasn't like a round table conversation. It wasn't like you speak. It was like little groups of people just going in and out of like chatty mode.
Since it was your birthday, did you make everybody in the circle like go around and share one thing that they just love or adore
I
about you?
should have done that, but no, I wasn't trying to. I wasn't trying to control it. No, it was totally freeform. But they did sing "Happy Birthday," and my nephew played his new electric guitar. Like for a while, and that was fun, and I played my guitar a little bit for a while.
And then your neighbors hate you?
I hope so. That's really what I'm going for. I want them to want to murder. No, I don't. We're not.
You want to be exiled.
I think it's reasonable to have people over on a Saturday night and make a little bit of noise, and we weren't even up that late.
I was gonna say, yeah.
It was all. I mean, we started around 5. Like we weren't.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not.
Like the cutoff is like 10 or 11 on a Saturday.
I might have mentioned this. I'm 38. I don't. I'm not trying to like be up till 2 a.m. Fucking.
Dude, I can't even do that shit anymore. It's
I don't want to.
By like
10, not really.
Well, I used to, I have a very strict sleep schedule during the week because of work. But then I've even set like a sleep schedule for the weekend where it's like I'll stay up till like 11 at the latest, and then I have my alarm set for 7 o'clock because I'm like it just keeps my sleep schedule like nice and even for
it's like it's the mature thing to do.
Yeah.
it's like I want to like being up and awake.
Well, what happened before is I would just cut loose on the weekend, sleep until like 9 o'clock or something, and then it would I wouldn't be able to go to bed Sunday night at like 10 o'clock because I fucking slept in, and then it'd start my
Mom,
week
I don't
want
to go to school. I'm tired. Well, you stayed up eating gummy worms all night. What, Mom? I don't want to get up.
Seems oddly specific, like you're sort of delving into your own treasure trove of memory.
My when I worked for the theater for quite a long time, I would get up at like noon or 1, and then I would stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning, and
Yeah.
because I was reviewing movies or I was building film,
Yeah.
and it was probably more like midnight, 1 o'clock most nights. But on like the night before the movies started, you would typically watch all the movies. Um,
Yeah, that's
and
how it was for me too, because I worked at the movie theater, one of the theaters over in Gateway, the cheapo theater before it got closed. But Vanessa and I worked over there for a few years. But yeah, most nights
when
if you
did you guys work
closed,
there? Did I
it
work
was
with you over there?
no, it was I worked at the cheap theater in Gateway. It was during the same time that I was working at GameStop when we were
Oh,
all working at GameStop
I
together.
remember that. I remember going into the cheap theater at Gateway and seeing you there
Mhm.
for it was either while we were still working together. We were probably working together at that
I
point.
was working there like right around the time I started at GameStop because during that time I had 3 jobs. I was working fucking Ross in the morning on their stock shift. Then I
Yeah.
would work a shift at GameStop usually, and then I worked at the fucking theater in the evening. It was exhausting.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was. I loved working at the theater though.
Did you
I
do
still like.
projection
I
at
did at
all?
the tail end, but by the time I got to the projection
It
booth,
was
we weren't
all
using film anymore. It was
digital.
all digital. Yeah, so they give you a license for certain
To
dates on the
kill?
movies. So
Oh,
it'd be like, starting on this
yep.
date, you can run this movie until this date,
Yeah.
basically.
Right.
So it would auto upload into our projectors like digital,
Yep.
and so you just
Well,
literally all it was hitting a start button. But I
um,
worked there when
yeah.
we were still doing film, so I got to see like the other projection booth employees build film. Like I used to watch them do it because
Yeah.
I was really fascinated by it. But by the time I got to that position, it was already just all digital at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
So I never got to do it.
35 millimeter film um uh projectionist jobs used to be like big uh union jobs, and when I was doing I did it for 7 years, and I was a booth manager, and I built probably hundreds of movies. I built
Mhm.
like Harry Potter and uh every major movie from the years that I was in there. I remember
Yeah. Because you worked
uh
over at the Regal Cinema, right? The one
yeah,
over near Valley River.
I worked at the Valley River one for years, but before that I worked at the little 8-plex that they had before the Valley River one, the big one.
Mhm.
There was a little one in the corner where
Yeah,
the
where like Red Lobster and
pasta
shit
shop,
is.
yeah, where
Yeah.
the shops are over there. I worked there with my friend Joey, who does the art. Oh, and I was gonna mention him, but because he had a show recently that I went to
Oh, cool.
for his art. But yeah, I worked at that one. But in Coos Bay, I worked at the theaters. I worked at every theater in Coos Bay, North Bend, uh, both theaters. I worked at both of them. I worked at the Egyptian Theater in Coos Bay, and we did old run movies on 3 screens, and that was like from the early 1900s that place was built. It was
Oh shit.
originally like a theater stage,
Mhm.
and they turned it into a movie theater, and then eventually it became like a defunct movie theater, and then this city bought it, I think, right after, like right, and then I had to leave. They bought it while I was there, and it
Mhm.
became just like a classics movies for a while, I think. I don't know what they're doing now. And then I started working over at the one in North Bend, which was like a brand new, like, I don't know, 11-plex or something like that, 16-plex.
Mhm.
And I was the booth manager there for years, or for a while, maybe a year, 2 years, something like
Do
that.
you ever miss it? I feel like
Oh, I
because
loved being a
I
projectionist.
like
I
feel like
was
working in a theater is so much better than like managing retail. Like that just it's a completely different
It's a
vibe
totally
and
different vibe. It
yeah.
taught me how to deal with thousands of people. Like, how do you deal
Mhm.
with lots of people very fast? Because when you work in concessions, you don't have a lot of time with everyone. And
Mhm.
so I've gotten really good, which helps me in retail, because like when there's a big long line, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's what happens when people want to buy stuff. You
Yeah.
get in fucking lines, people. Everyone hates lines in retail, but lines at a movie theater are like normal. You'll get in a line for like 100 people and just sit there and nobody gives a shit. But you go into a freaking CVS and there's a line of more than 3 people. Everyone lives just like outraged. They're like, I
Mhm.
came here to buy things immediately. Um, but yeah, the theater was fun. Building film, seeing movies before they came out, staying up late. It was awesome. And then it went digital like the year I stopped doing it, and I got a
Mhm.
job at GameStop. And that's when I went into retail. But I was in management the whole time, so I was just kind of like, it has similar set of skills to do that. But yeah, I wrote a blog about my time as a projectionist, and put some pictures in there and all that. That's how I met Joey, was from the theater. But yeah, let me show you some photos if you're watching this. How do you do this? Share screen.
Share screen. Believe in yourself.
So I went to Eugene. I went to Eugene. Whoa! I went to Eugene, and we went to Old Nick's Pub, and Joey, my friend, had a art show, and he does art that looks like this.
Cryptoderm, I think is what he calls it, right?
Yeah, cryptodermia.
Cryptodermia.
He gives each piece a Latin name related to it in some way. And they're like wire sculptures in the form of skeletons and cryptozoology. So they're all like fantasy oriented, dark arts kind of stuff. So I just wanted to shout him out and go to Joey, or it's edwardsartanddesign.com to check him out. I like his work.
Yeah, I bought some of his paintings when he was at I think it was the last time Eugene had its own like little Comic-Con. I think it was like 2018, 2019 maybe. It was before COVID, but anyway, he had a booth there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Vanessa and I were there, and we stopped and like checked the stuff out and bought some paintings, which I have some of his paintings actually framed in my hallway. I bought like 2 or 3.
That's great. Yeah, I love Joey, and I think people should check him out.
Yeah, for sure.
And then also, while I'm here, I'll show you some pictures I took.
Of flower.
I went to Blue Lake last weekend and took some pictures. I would like to get a new lens that's for wildlife, but this was a really cool one. It was like a really, really close up of a beetle, orange and red. Oh yeah, did you see that one? Oh, where did it go? Get out of here.
It's a bug on your thumb?
Yeah, this little fucking dude landed on my thumb.
He just hung out and let you photograph him?
Just took fucking photos like this, like all fucking weird. And yeah, it was a dragonfly, and he was just tiny, and he just landed on my thumb. And then I flicked him off, and then he just landed back on my fucking hand. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna take pictures of you now.
He knew what you were doing. He was a model in his former life before he was reincarnated as a dragonfly.
So was this little guy, little squirrel in the sun.
That's a fat squirrel, man.
Yeah, well, it's freaking spring. They got
people just up on nuts.
People chucking nuts at these things. They almost all run to you at this place at Blue Lake. The squirrels will like come up to you and like look for nuts.
Oh, really? Yeah,
the dress.
If you're killed.
You heard it.
Yeah. There's squirrels over on at the U of O campus, man. They are all so fat because they just dig in like the trash that the college kids leave like outside and stuff, and they just fucking, you see them like waddling around all over the place. Just
like really unhealthy fucking squirrels. I took a picture of a bird, took a picture of a blue heron that caught a fish in the lake.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was really, really happy. It just let me walk up on it. I got really, really close, and it didn't notice me, and it was just fishing. And then eventually I waited for like, I don't know, 10 minutes, and it caught a fish, and I took a bunch of pictures. It was really cool. And then it flew away with the fish. And that's the end of our tale of Joe's going places and doing things. Sometimes I go places. Sometimes I do things. How was your weekend? You said you're sick. Oh no, you're sick. What's going on?
It's kind of, I don't know. It's not really sick. So I had a nice long 4-day weekend, which the first 2 days were awesome. And then Saturday night, I went to bed and could not sleep. And for some reason, my heart was like, just felt like it was kind of racing. Like I was out on a brisk walk. And when I was trying to lay down and go to sleep, like I couldn't relax. It was just beating. And so Saturday night I only got like maybe 3 or 4 hours of sleep, and then so all day Sunday I was just exhausted. I felt like a zombie, And I was feeling like some kind of like after effects of that. Like, so Sunday I just kind of laid around, and then Sunday night I slept really well because I think I was just so exhausted from getting such little sleep the night before. And then yesterday I had like a normal day. Like I was cleaning house. I walked the dogs like 5 miles, doing great. And then when I went to bed last night, same fucking thing happened again. So I don't know if it's like anxiety, high blood pressure runs in my family, my mom and my dad. I think my dad's been on blood pressure medication for like most of his adult life. And when I've gone to the doctor before, they have kind of talked about putting me on it, but I've always been sort of at the threshold of not really needing it, but maybe one day. So I don't know if that's what it is. Like I finally, for some reason, I'm just at this point where I just need some medication to help level me out a little bit, or if it was like anxiety related, although I don't feel like I was feeling any particular stress or anxiety about anything. But so yeah, I don't know what it is. There's been 2 nights this weekend where I felt fine during the day, but then for some reason, when I would go to bed, it's like my body just can't calm down to sleep, and my heart's just kind of racing. And I thought about going to the emergency room last night. It was about 2:30 in the morning. I woke my wife up because I'm like, I can't sleep. I'm like pacing in the hall, taking deep breaths, trying to calm myself down. I don't know what's going on. And so I was like talking with her for a little bit because she's like, well, we can go if you think it'd make you feel better. Because, I wasn't short of breath. I wasn't having any chest pain or headaches or anything like that. It's just like, it's like my body's just full of energy or something, and I can't cut it to calm down. Which is stressful, which is probably, it's almost like a self-fulfilling thing because you're experiencing this strangeness inside your body. And then it like, for me, I'm a very big hypochondriac. Like I can't even watch medical shows because it freaks me out. So when weird things like this happen to me, I get inside my head a lot, and it just compounds the problem. Because most of the time it's usually not that big of a deal. It's something that's pretty easy to solve, but I make a big deal out of it. I even took a COVID test just to be safe last night. I was like, maybe it's because Vanessa had COVID last year, and she said that was one of her symptoms. Is she had kind of a bit of a racing heartbeat when she would try to sleep. So she's like, maybe you should take a COVID test. So we have a cupboard with some at-home tests, and so I took that. It was negative. And then by the time that was all over, I was feeling a little better. I looked up my doctor, and she has some openings for appointments tomorrow. So I just scheduled an appointment with her, and then I was like, by then I felt kind of calm. So I went back to bed at about 3, and then I slept for a few hours. I woke up at 6 again. So today has been I didn't go to work today because I just feel fucking exhausted from not sleeping and the stress of whatever the hell's going on. So I'm hoping tomorrow afternoon I can find out what exactly is going on, whether it's just some kind of weird panic attack that I'm having over and over again for some reason, or if I just need to be put on some blood pressure medication to start evening myself out. I don't know. Who knows what it is?
Yeah, I don't know what the symptoms of like sudden onset high blood pressure, as you're going to bed. Like my high blood pressure runs in my family, and people end up getting heart attacks and shit like that. And I think both my mom and dad take medication, and I think my brother did take medication, and then he sort of got his system more in order, like lost weight and stuff, and was like exercising more. And so I don't know if he takes it anymore.
Some people just take it for a short time because they have like the DASH diet, which is like a low sodium whole foods type of diet that they recommend people who have hypertension eat. That helps reduce your blood pressure, and then obviously not being overweight and exercising and all that. So it's like, I think that's why I've always sort of been on the threshold, is I take pretty solid care of myself. But then there's people, that just have to be on it. It's just like a genetic thing, like just no matter what they do. So I'm hoping that if worst case scenario, that's what it is I just finally have to break down and start just taking at least like a low dosage of something to just help bring myself down a little bit. But that's that kind of feeds into like the anxiety and panic attacks, is you feel your heart just, kind of pounding in your chest, and you're like, fuck, am I having a heart attack? Am I gonna have a heart attack like any moment now? Like,
am I giving myself
like, my left arm's not numb yet, so I think I'm okay. I don't have any chest pain. So it's like, it's just, anyway. So I am dreading going to the doctor because I don't like going to the doctor. I have pretty bad white coat syndrome is what they call it, where I have really high anxiety when I go to the doctor, even if it's for really mundane things like my annual wellness that I do.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I try to stay on top of it. I do go once a year to see my doctor. But every time I do it, it's just I just have anxiety because I think in the back of my mind there's this irrational fear that they're going to discover something's horribly wrong with me.
Well, of course, if you're a
Yeah,
hypochondriac and
and
you're a
so
catastrophizer,
yeah, for sure.
high
So it's like
anxiety.
I'm looking forward to seeing her tomorrow because I'm so exhausted from this weekend of dealing with whatever's going on with me, that I just kind of want it to end. And so, but at the same time, I'm like terrified to find out what if it's something way worse than it is. But I have a feeling through history of dealing with this kind of stuff that it's probably just something pretty simple that I just gotta get some help with, hopefully.
Yeah, you don't know. And
Mhm.
by thinking of the worst case scenario, you are not doing yourself any favors.
No.
So you got to try to like put it into perspective. Like, how would you think about it if it was somebody else? Like, if I told you those symptoms, you'd be like, oh, well, you just get it checked out and you'll get some more information. And if high blood pressures in your family, then that's a likely candidate and something to bring up with the doctor. But
Yeah,
otherwise,
well, she already knows. So
just
I mean,
breathe
yeah,
and I mean, you said you went for a run and stuff. Like, you're probably fine.
that's what I had to keep telling
Just
myself
weird.
when you start getting irrational, like, oh, I'm having a heart attack. It's like if you're having a heart attack, you wouldn't be able to go on a 5-mile walk. You know, you wouldn't. There's a lot of
Well,
things
you
you
might
wouldn't
be able
really be
to
able
if
to
you have
do.
some cardiovascular or cardiac issues. You could still, I mean, if you have it, it's probably very, very mild, but it might be there. You might have some.
Yeah.
Now I'm giving you more things.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, thanks for being
It's
into
nothing.
it.
You'll be fine unless you aren't.
Yeah. Well,
It's
I'll
hard
find
not
out
to be.
tomorrow.
Yeah, it's hard not to. Like, if you go on WebMD, like, you're gonna make it
No,
worse.
I refuse to Google
Don't do it.
anything. I don't. Like, I thought about doing it. I was like, oh, maybe I should look up, like, is this a common thing? And I'm like, no, because I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole, and the next thing I know, I'm gonna be having a fucking panic attack in the middle
Yeah,
of
and
my
you'll look
living
up
room.
like how many people die from
Yeah.
heart failure every year, and you'll be like, ah.
I'm just one of those freak ones that I just have a bad heart, keel over at 30 something years
But
old.
no, like, even like imagining it doesn't
No,
matter.
I
Like, it
know.
does. I
No,
mean, if it happens, it happens. You're not going to be able to stop it.
it's true.
It's like an aneurysm in your brain. Like, I mean, what are you going to do about it?
Those do run in my family. That's what takes out a good number of the old corn walls. So
Mm-hmm.
statistically, that's my future probably. I'm just gonna
That's
fucking keel over from
the
an aneurysm.
euphemism for a aneurysm is a corn wall.
Yeah.
You got corn walls. They tell them at the
Yeah.
hospital.
Yeah.
You go, oh, you
Your
just got
arteries
corn
are all
wall.
walled up with corn for some reason.
They go into the room and they look at the chart and they go, oh no, he's got a bad case of the corn walls.
Yep.
That sucks. Yeah, my family, actually, when my mom was over for my birthday, I think she mentioned high blood pressure, but that dementia isn't in my family, so it's very
Well, there
unlikely
you
that I'll
go.
get that. But
That's
like,
how it is in my family. Like
yeah.
nobody that I'm aware of has gotten cancer.
Oh, and diabetes is in my family.
No, see, that's
I always
not
make fun of it.
related.
It's not, I'm gonna get it.
You're gonna be fine as long as you just eat a solid diet, take any
Yeah.
exercise.
I'm gonna
If
chop
you let
my feet
yourself
off.
go,
I'm gonna
then-
preemptively chop my feet off.
So the diabetes shows up and it's like, there's nothing
I
for
have
us to do
nowhere to
here.
go. I don't have anywhere to go for my diabetes problems. I just go to feet.
It'll just get in your fingers,
My
It goes to the
phalanges?
appendage. Yeah, your phalanges. It just goes to
Oh.
the appendages. So
Oh, not the main appendage, I hope.
no,
That's an appendage, isn't it? It sticks out.
that's true. But I think there's plenty of blood.
Isn't that the definition of appendage? It sticks out.
That's true. It
It's
is
like a peninsula for your body. It's like it's a geography joke,
Yeah, no, I got it.
You get it?
Every man carries a Florida. We get it.
Oh, I like that. Like a fucking strong ass gun wielding Florida.
Republican haven. Yeah.
Yes. Don't
That's
touch
why
me
it
with
shoots.
your Florida.
That's why it shoots.
Yeah.
Whether urine or semen, it's always shooting.
Does it go? Is it bend to the right, Florida?
Well, it sort of bends down at an angle. It either looks like a man's sad erection or somebody taking a shit, like halfway through. The shit hasn't quite dislodged from the
You mean
anal
it
cavity.
looks like shit,
Mhm.
or is there a man there?
I think it's
Like,
there's
is
a
there a
man,
man?
and then
Like his
the
butt?
peninsula part is the poop coming out of the butt.
cheeks.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
wow!
just take it how you see it, I guess.
I
what I would say
suppose
about
that's how
Florida.
people see it. That's rude. I've never been to Florida. I kind of want to go. There's a lot of wildlife. Some of the most diverse wildlife in America is in Florida.
Yeah. Well, interesting temperate climate, right? Pretty fairly kind of
Yeah,
almost tropical.
I
in a
think it
way.
is somewhat jungly.
Swampy and jungly.
There's swamp nuts and gun nuts. And it's interesting how states get reputations. They almost take on personalities and they become personified themselves, states. And it's very like the same thing people do when they stereotype races or groups of any kind. They just say, this group of people is like this. It's very
Period. There's no variables.
Yeah,
There's
it's just
no-
like you just can mention it anywhere and people know what you're talking about. Like you can go, oh, Texans, and they'll be like, yeah,
guns and
get
chewing
it.
tobacco. And
Yeah, let's go through all the states and say
just say the first thing that comes to your mind. Yeah,
Washington, hippies, riots, and demilitarized zones in the middle of the downtown. Oh, shitting on the streets. I remember that.
Are you
Shitting
talking about Washington or Portland? Because it sounds like you're just talking about Portland.
Oregon, the same as
Hippies,
see Washington.
Yeah, Washington and Oregon are very much the same kind of place.
California
is like
is communist,
schizophrenia.
Communism and Hollywood.
Yeah, but then there's like rural areas of California. And California is weird. It's too big. They need to like break it in half or something. There's too much going on.
That's what some of them want, because the northern half is much more rural and doesn't want to be lumped in with the more cityfied southern half.
Well, that's what Oregon's going through. Like, you have like the whole almost eastern side of Oregon trying to join Idaho because it's, the eastern Oregon's more rural.
Yeah, it's so funny.
And like they want to join Idaho so that because that's more in line with what their needs are. Because a lot of our policies making in Oregon is decided based on your large population areas by Portland and Eugene and Salem, so which are Democratic leaning. They're not as worried about farm needs as rural areas. Anyway,
what laws are going on about farms? Like, I don't think it's about that. It's more ideological. It's just weird that like we have like two ideologies in America and they tend to split based on whether you're in a city or not. It's like, but are the policies related to the actual place you live? I don't know if they really matter. We do need to take a break. It's a good opportunity to use the restroom, to get some water, and
you're gonna splice this together.
Pay for Zoom. Yeah, we'll just put it together. It's
not even gonna know.
I was being a pussy before. I wasn't prepared, and I was like, "Oh no, I got to edit. Oh Lord, I edit every episode. It's not. I'll figure it out." So yeah, stay tuned for the next installment of the Fleeting Thoughts podcast, which we probably haven't even mentioned the whole time.
Now, I said Fleeting Thoughts earlier because I realized we hadn't said it, so I did say the name of the show earlier.
At this point,
we were talking.
At this point, if you're listening to this stupid shit, you know who the fuck we are.
It's true,
right? Like you didn't click on something and then find out what it is. It's not the radio. You don't just listen and then somebody goes, "Oh yeah, and by the way, this is Johnny Falk in the morning."
You gotta click through some menus. Typically, you gotta find the show on your podcast service. You know what I mean?
How the hell?
Process here.
There's no way to click on anything without knowing what it is ahead of time. Now, there's no surprises ever in entertainment. We need to bring back surprises and live surprises. Yeah, like we need something that like you literally can't see it coming. No one says what's coming, even if it's me coming. I don't want it to be a surprise.
On something live, I hope. Let's not make it weird.
Yeah, OnlyFans.
No, okay.
Okay, we'll take a break.
All right. Welcome back to the second part of the Fleeting Thoughts podcast.
Sorry, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for the cue. Welcome back.
If you really want to make it seem like a break, you should just put a little music interstitial in there for just like 10 seconds, just give people a sec to realize that we're breaking it up. I was just reading about randomly how France is trying to preserve like the purity of their language by not allowing people to use gamer jargon. So like streamer and stuff. I don't know. It's fucking silly.
That is sounds very French because they're word Nazis. I think if you're like grasping at the last straws of freedom, you're starting to fuck with language. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Let the people talk, maybe. No, how can people say things like, what do they say?
Well, they were just like they don't want people like the term streamer or fuck. I'm trying to find an article again so I could pull up.
Streamow, stupid streamowls.
Fucking France.
Our language is so pure. Oh. This is stupid. Gamers.
Oh, I give up. I can't find
everything's like
it got lost in my feed.
Obviously, I'm not speaking French. I can't speak French. I'm speaking. I'm making fun of how French people can't speak English very well. Is that not clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
just so you know, I'm making fun of some people here. I don't know if you noticed, but I wasn't speaking fucking French right then. I was speaking fucking something else.
Fucking something else.
Yeah, like I never actually do like a German impression. I do like a shitty German accent.
Whoa. Shit.
Right?
I was gonna say something. Right? I lost it. I don't know what's going on.
Did I ruin it? I'm
a little sleep deprived.
Oh, tired boy.
Oh, I'm so tired. I'm hoping that maybe I'll be so exhausted tonight I'll actually sleep again.
Just do a bunch of push-ups and then pass out. That's good for you, I think.
Yeah, maybe I can reset the old heart thrum by just sprinting a lot and just getting it really high and then
heart thrombosis.
Yeah. Now like bedtime, which is usually my favorite time of the day, almost laying down at the end of the day.
You're 80 years old
and reading and then just passing it. Like
it's so good. It's
like
so
most
good.
nights I'm asleep within like 15 minutes because it's like I got up at like 5:30 that morning. I fucking ran a 5K. I went to work.
Yeah, there's no room for depression.
Exactly. And then
I was thinking about that. If you just fill your day with shit, you don't have time to be depressed. It's very important. If you're depressed, fill your day with dumb shit. Just do it. Just whatever it is.
Like going outside for a walk, dude. It'll make you feel better. It's scientifically proven, and it gives.
Well, that is just you should be doing that.
Yeah.
But
I try to average at least 15 to 20,000 steps a day.
Wow.
Even on the weekends, like I just try to. So I take my dogs walking a lot, and then running helps. I walk on all my breaks. So basically, what I'm saying is, by the time I get to bed at night, I'm fucking wiped from just having a full day. And so I'll read for like maybe 10 minutes, and then I'm like passing out.
Yeah,
so,
dude,
it's frustrating when I can't sleep. I get really, really annoyed.
Yeah, I bet. I hate it. I feel real angst when I am tired, when I can't sleep. There's like it's like a depression or something like that, where everything kind of like is like, nope, I don't want to do anything else. I just want to sleep. Everyone shut the fuck up. I don't want to be here. And it's like preoccupying your brain all the time. It's distracting. It's kind of like when you get hangry. Like I'll get hangry at work and I'll kind of be a jerk to somebody. I'll be like, oh, I need to go eat something. Like my bad.
I don't think I've ever been hangry before. I've never.
I think it's a hypoglycemic thing. Because I have I think I've self-diagnosed as having hypoglycemia.
Of course, yeah.
I'm pretty sure my dad has it, and I get weird if I don't eat a decent amount of like certain foods and sugars and stuff. Like my legs get shaky and I feel super odd, and I feel like I might pass out or something, but that's probably my blood pressure issue too.
I get that way sometimes. Like if I haven't eaten and I've been doing a lot, I get like it's like you get kind of shaky and feel sort of lightheaded and weird, and it's like you got to sit down and eat something. But I don't feel like I get angry at people. I'm like, oh fuck, I need to like take a break and eat and let my body recuperate.
No, I just get slightly irritable when I'm hungry.
Yeah, I just get irritable when I'm tired usually, especially if I'm like out in a public place and I'm fucking tired and I'm dealing with a lot of people. I'm just like, fuck off, everybody, just blow up in an asteroid already and let's rid the earth.
Like the movie? Like those movies, those
Yeah, like
multiple
the
movies.
Armageddon one and the Deep Impact movie. That
Yeah, or
one.
the one recently with the Leonardos and the
Oh,
Don't Look Up or
oh
something.
yeah. That
Yeah.
was a good movie. Strangely
Didn't we talk
depressing.
about that movie?
I don't
I
remember.
don't know.
But I remember watching it and I was like, oh, this is obviously a metaphor for a lot of other things like COVID and stuff. But
And Trump. It was like
yeah.
a big anti-Trump thing.
Hmm.
I didn't enjoy the science in it, and I thought that it was weirdly surreal. I thought it was a surrealist world, and I didn't enjoy its like stereotyping, archetyping that was too obvious.
Hmm.
The characters didn't read true to me, so I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, I had fun with it because I just didn't take it that seriously.
I,
Especially
I took
the
it way too
very
seriously.
oh, see, especially at the
I didn't
very
know. I thought it
end.
was a comedy, and I was like, "This is not funny at all."
Oh, really? I thought it was pretty funny. I think it's because I wasn't
I didn't think it was
really
funny.
um like I said, I wasn't taking it very seriously, so I just kind of
I think I
sat
went
back and
into it
enjoyed the
maybe
ride.
thinking it was supposed to be fairly serious because it has Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's not funny.
Well, and if you just look at like the plot of the film, it's a pretty serious
Yeah,
sounding plot. It's just people dealing with the end of the world, basically. So
satire for sure. But whatever.
whatever.
What? Oh yeah, we were talking about being mad, and you wanting to murder everybody with your fucking flames and comets.
Yeah, only if I'm tired and cranky and stuck in a public place that I don't want to be in.
Did
But
you watch Moon Knight?
yes.
Moon Knight?
Moon Knight, yeah.
Yeah, ooh, that doesn't sound good either.
Yeah.
It's not. That's kind of like an
That
exercise. I don't think
that's
it
yeah,
sounds
that's
good.
the dangers in word for sure.
Moon Knight. It's too close to something.
Yeah, I mean I liked it. It was a
Did
I'm
it make any sense? I didn't enjoy that it didn't mix in with the original Marvel world in a way that I could say, okay, this is like actually part of the Marvel universe.
what I was thinking while I was watching it was I would never want to live in this world because it's fucking mayhem. You've got interdimensional
Yeah,
aliens coming to destroy
the
planets, Egyptian gods
the
that
fucking
have
stars just fucking
moving.
realigned for no
Yeah,
reason. Why didn't they just use a computer? You can
they just
simulate any time in history star pattern wise. Just use a
but
fucking
it's not as
computer.
magical and cool. It's
But it
Mark.
wasn't magic. It was all psychological, or it was fantasy. It was Egyptian fantasy mixed with psychological illusions or
Mhm.
delusions, imaginings, subconscious existences, things like that.
It was a show that like the first couple episodes I enjoyed it mostly from Oscar Isaac's performance. Like I thought was really great between the two personalities that he goes back and forth. But like the further it went, like when they started introducing like all these other Egyptian gods and they all had like these avatars, and I'm just like, wait, so you're telling me that in the middle of all this Avengers shit that was going on, there was also just a bunch of Egyptian gods
It's a
hanging out in the
totally different,
desert, and it's
but
like,
they're just as powerful as anything else that we've dealt
yeah.
with.
So I'm like, where were these guys when the world was under attack? It's just I had that
That's
same
what I'm saying.
problem.
It doesn't fit in a way that I feel like it's a Marvel movie that you could have Thor show up, or you could have ooh, what's going on out there?
Oh,
Channing's dog is growling, and it's the dog that is a brown Labrador. Now Channing is checking on something, kicking the dog out, maybe. The play-by-play. Now he's putting back on his headset.
sorry, I muted it so people don't have to look. He saw something in the fucking window, like either
It was a squirrel.
he growls at like the squirrels and the cats that run along the fence. So I thought he'd
Squirrels
be
and the
fine. He
cats.
just literally busted into the office, and I was like, it's Reese, he'll be okay. And then immediately he starts growling at the window. I'm like,
I didn't
okay,
notice
never
him.
mind. Anyway.
Interruption.
But the thing with the Marvel is like they just keep adding more shit to the world, and I'm like, this is a world of mayhem. Like human beings should not exist because you got fucking superhumans and aliens and gods and just all the stuff going on. It's I wish that they wouldn't try to tie it all together as one world. It's like, why can't you guys just separate some stuff? Just have the Avengers thing going in one world. because you know what's going to happen is they're going to probably have like the X-Men at some point get introduced. It's like then they're just going to add mutants into it also. Like what the fuck, man?
And just redo all the mutant stuff. It's just yeah, it's the formula is getting like Morbius, like it failed like at the box office is what I've heard. And
that movie was really generic. I didn't really
yeah, it's just this formula that they're just churning out movies because they have money to spare that just don't have any I don't know, they just don't do it. They don't have a lot of heart, or they don't have a great premise, so they're confusing, or they're boring, or they're like regurgitated vampires. Like that's not different. It's like Venom meets vampires. Anyway, it's a bit disappointing, but I liked Moon Knight's psychological stuff.
Yeah.
If you played it as a psychological thriller action movie, then I think it would have made more sense. It's just putting it in the Marvel world. I was expecting, I don't know, like Deadpool, like fun, like you know, like what's going on generally. And with Deadpool man, Moonpool, I don't know. I got them mixed up in my head. It just felt like it was just a, I don't know, just a side story about a confused fucking dude.
Yeah, my problem is I'm just getting kind of I've just been getting kind of burnt out on Marvel stuff generally. Like I'm just kind of ever since Endgame, like Endgame was such a great ending to like all of these years of story building.
They should have ended the company. They should have just broke the company up. Yeah. Whatever company that is.
But now it's like all the other movies just kind of feel weird now. I'm like, I feel like we just we had this epic conclusion a couple of years ago, and now it's like everything just feels kind of weak after that. Like we went and watched the new like Doctor Strange movie, and it was fine. It was just kind of
the new Spider-Man, fine.
Yeah, whatever. It's just like it's like when you watch it, people are like, oh, did you like it? Was it good? I'm like, it was a Marvel movie. Like you know exactly what you're. A lot of special effects, pretty standard plot wise, and then like some jokey dialogue intermixed with like some serious moments. Like they just have a formula that they stick to, and it's a successful one, so I can't really blame them for not deviating. But yeah, I don't know. Same thing's kind of starting to happen to Star Wars too, you know, with all the Star Wars shows that they keep putting
I think that's long. That ship went long time ago with Star Wars. Yeah. As far as it being formulaic and like kind of one note, and there's the same bad guy every time. It's always just fucking stormtroopers and a dude in a black fucking suit. Like I could give a fuck. It's why are they having the same problems all the time? It's only one problem. You just have one problem. It's the fucking archetypal evil in the form of fucking bad guys versus good guys. It's boring.
They tried to some stuff with like the series, like the Mandalorian. I think is pretty good as far as like
it is good. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's
like,
that's good, and it's because it deviates from
it's
like
completely
the
different
light and dark.
It's it's Firefly. It's just Star Wars Firefly. It's just fun adventures it's a space western. Every week you get a fun little space, bounty hunter story, western. It's just a western. Like I after watching a few episodes of it, I was like, oh, this is just a space western. This is not Star Wars in its normal capacity, as in Star and Wars. It was more like
there's a lack of wars in the stars here.
And he's fucking fast with his gun, like fucking whatever. And they'd have fucking fights. It's so funny that it's like so sophisticated and futuristic and technology, and they just have fucking fights with sticks. Like, all right, you fucking weirdos. Why are you wearing armor? No one's wearing armor in modern times with guns. Lasers aren't going to help with armor. Isn't going to make lasers work less efficiently.
They wear armor, make any sense. Yeah, the lightsabers and the lasers.
We couldn't figure out armor that is going to save you from a bullet, but we'll figure it out for lasers.
But then it doesn't work because if you get shot,
it never works.
Stormtroopers when they get shot, they still die.
Why are they wearing armor if it doesn't? Anyway, that's the typical Star Wars and the Star Wars conversation. We've tackled every issue.
But I will say I watched
Okay.
the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan and I was enjoying that. So
Yeah, I'm sure they put a lot of effort into that one because it would be scrutinized.
I think what they need to do though, especially once they finish up this Obi-Wan story, is they just need to move away from like the movies, because what they're doing with all the shows is some of them are really good, but they're constantly trying to find ways to like tie characters
Lead
and
into a
events
movie.
into like
Yeah.
the movies so that it's like this big like interconnected thing. But I'm like, why don't you guys just go
Shut the
do
fuck up.
something like
Yeah.
it's a galaxy, go somewhere
It's
that we've never
yeah.
seen and show us
It's
stuff that we've not seen
it's almost
before.
the opposite problem of the Marvel. It's the same problem, but a different problem as Marvel, in that Disney needs to get the fuck away from like the main story. And I think that Marvel needs to like create a new main story and create a new end game. You know, like they need to lead up towards something big that is all going to gather a bunch of people again. Otherwise, these disparate fucking characters don't, like, they don't interact, they don't matter, it's not a universe.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, and what's tough about Marvel that is like it's like a commitment, because if you watch the new Doctor Strange movie, for example, without watching the WandaVision show, you're not gonna understand
that's what I heard.
what's going on in the
I don't want to
beginning
watch
of the
that
movie.
whole show so I can watch one movie that I already don't want to watch.
That's what I mean. It's like they really like want people. It's like they should. I originally thought they were just, the TV shows were just kind of supplemental. Like you wanted to experience these characters a little bit more. Here's a fun little side story. But now it's like, no, these TV shows are like integral to understanding the movies now, because events tie together. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really feel a lot of excitement for Marvel stuff. I end up going to see it because Vanessa is a big fan. Like I would have sat out Doctor Strange and just waited for it to go to Disney Plus or something, and then I probably would have watched it. But
You're looking for a real doctor.
yeah, that I'm
I got
seeing
real.
tomorrow.
I got real.
I got real
I don't want to
fucking
watch. I don't want like
problems.
magic doctors.
Yeah.
With his what? So wait a minute. He gets his hands all mushed up. He can't be a regular doctor. Then he becomes the most powerful magician ever known to anyone. But he can't do surgery still. Is he?
I think he can do surgery. He's just
He
beyond
could
that
do
now.
magic
He's better
surgery,
than that.
right? What if he just
Yeah.
said, "Fuck all this, I'm going back to magic surgery," and he just like turns all the lights out and then he does his magic so nobody knows. But like
That'd be great. Yeah.
he was actually doing like really good work as a fucking surgeon, like in reality, like like for real people. But no, he's got to go off and be fucking. He is one of my least favorite characters of all time. For one, I think Cumberbatch is boring. I think he in general is just like pretentious and kind of snooty, and he's not very like I don't admire him like you did with Iron Man. Like where you're like, I want to be fucking Iron Man. I don't want to be Benedict Cumberbatch as a snooty magician. And then I also think the magic stuff is annoying. Like all the rest of the stuff is never named as magic. It's just fantasy fucking gods and stuff. That type of, it's mythological. Whereas magic is like fucking Harry Potter. That's a totally different concept than Thor. Thor is not magic. Thor is connected to the universe, which is their type of magic, is kind of all related and it's all the same thing. But I just thought when it came into it, it's like he's a fucking magician that can just go with the orange stuff that it just out of nowhere. I don't know. I didn't like it. He's just
I just don't understand how any of it works with Doctor Strange. I'm like, wait, what are the rules? Does he have any rules for his magic, or he can do whatever he wants, but he can't because he gets beat up still? Like it's
and he's a dude, but he's got little crystals. I don't know. He's got the time crystal.
Not anymore.
I think he's one of the less interesting, because at least with Thor, like Thor is kind of annoying in that he can't die, and same with the Hulk, he can't die. And so when you have characters that can't die, they turn into Superman, and there's no stakes. There's no.
Well, I think that's why people jived with Iron Man so much. It's similar to Batman,
because he was
just
a
dude, but he had a suit. Like that's,
and he would get his ass kicked inside the suit and be all bruised up and fucked up.
Yeah,
but he was doing like the thing that like Batman does, which is he does the hard moral thing. He fights for justice, and he does it as a human. So I guess that's why I think Batman's better than
That's
Thor.
why if I like Batman, because with Batman, there always feels like there's stakes. You're like, yeah, I mean, if he gets shot, it could kill him. You know, like, and even in the new Batman film, he gets fucked up in that movie quite a bit. So it creates more tension. Like I feel no tension when I'm watching Hulk just tear through a city. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
nope.
he's really powerful.
Yeah,
Or when
yeah, yeah.
when Thor's fighting people, I'm like, I don't know, he's a god. Is
He'll
he
be all
even
right.
really in danger? Like he's just zapping everybody with lightning and throwing a hammer around. Like, um,
And sometimes, sometimes he can just murder like 1,000 people at a time, and sometimes like one dude will give him a hard time. It's like,
yeah.
what is happening here? Okay, that makes no sense. It's the same
Yeah.
with Black Widow in that she's just a person. I really enjoyed the Black Widow movie because it was like within her wheelhouse.
Mhm.
But you put Black Widow against any of the ones with powers, or even Iron Man, like she does break her in half. She's just a fucking person.
That's why I always disliked having Batman in the Justice League because I'm like, he's just a dude with a lot of
Yeah,
money and
yeah.
some
And you got the
skills.
Flash or whatever.
Yeah, he's got Superman and Flash and Green Lantern and like all
Yeah,
these dudes who have like all these amazing powers. I'm like, this doesn't even make sense for him
yeah.
to be in this group
Have
outside of
you?
maybe being an advisor and funding them. Like, I don't, why is he in a suit helping them fight? It doesn't make any sense.
He's
He's
an
like a
advisor.
street level, you know, criminal fighter. Like he's dealing with like your everyday dudes, maybe a
Yeah,
serial
he's
killer
beating
here and
up
there.
7-Eleven
Yeah,
stick up
he's not dealing with the
artists.
extraterrestrial
Yeah,
threat that
yeah,
can
yeah.
level a city block with like the snap of a finger or something. It doesn't, yeah. That's why I always prefer Batman as like a solo in his own like universe thing. That's why I'm glad with the new Batman they didn't try to tie it into like a Justice League movie or the, you know, the Aquaman movie. It's like, no, he's just better off in his own little world doing his thing because you throw him in with these other characters and it just he seems useless and it makes no sense.
Yeah, it's just different logical paradigms that we place on fantasy. Oh
uh
goodness.
well, it's become such a, you know, a rage in our culture, you know,
Yeah, you got to
everybody's
have
obsessed with
opinions
these
about it.
comic book things and
I
Star
think
Wars and
I think
everything.
there's like an evolutionary pressure to know the like to have things to talk about. And so we have this social thing called culture that like is beneficial. So we all want to stay within some social group. So
Mhm.
we pick and choose um, cultural elements to pay attention to, like sports or whatever, and it's related to who you're around and stuff. You're just you kind of end up getting filtered into different groups of people that like, you know, fandoms.
Well, I feel like
Um,
they just like Marvel somehow just cracked the code of creating stories with like somewhat likable characters that are like easy to digest and understand. So it's like
yeah,
anybody can watch it and
mass
enjoy
market.
it.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of, you know, you can almost sort of turn your brain off and just sort of go along for the ride. Um, which I think is why I get just tired of watching them sometimes. Like sometimes I
There's
like
no stakes. There's no care. There's no heart.
yeah, and sometimes it's fun to watch a movie that you're just sort of like, what the fuck? Like you have to kind of think
Yeah.
about it or like analyze it and try to figure out what the message was or something.
Yeah.
Which is actually my recommendation for this week is
Oh,
such a
let's do it.
film as that. So I
Great
want to
segue.
recommend we went to the theater last weekend and watched this movie called Men. It's written and directed by Alex Garland. He did Ex Machina and Annihilation, are the last two movies that he did.
Isn't it
Um,
horror based? It's like scary,
Men,
right?
yes, yeah, it's kind of like a horror movie, but it's fascinating. It's about this woman who rents this English cottage in the countryside for a couple weeks after her husband's suicide to kind of get away and take some time to grieve and sort of reset. And then she just has these interactions with the men in this little village, and all of the men are played by the same actor. Like he looks different, like he has different
Mhm.
wigs on and outfits and stuff, but it's all the same actor who plays all the male characters in the movie.
Mhm.
Um, And it starts off as like kind of an uncomfortable film about like seemingly about like the interactions that women and men have with each other in society and how uncomfortable it can be, like when you say weird shit sometimes. But then it just like as the movie goes, it like really starts spiraling into something else. And it becomes one of the most bizarre movies I've seen in a long time. And it's a case of a movie where like when the credits were rolling, Vanessa and I were just kind of sitting in the theater, like, what did we just watch? Like, I'm trying to like process in my brain, like what I just saw, what they were trying to say, like what the point of the movie was. And it was interesting because I really liked the movie. Like I enjoyed watching it, but then at the same time, there was like this other level where I'm trying to like understand it. Like I want to rewatch it again and see if I can maybe try to catch on to more or something that I maybe missed. But it's a really good movie. It's very it gets really tense at the end, like very like gory and violent. Like kind of surprising. Like you didn't like you would expect maybe a little bit, but there are some scenes where you get kind of squeamish. Like it gets pretty intense. But it's a really, really good movie if you're looking for something that it's almost kind of like an analysis on grief, but then also like the paradigm of men and women in culture. It's very interesting. But I like don't I'm still trying to wrap my head around like what exactly the message is or what they're trying to say about those things, I guess. But yeah, it's fantastic. I recommend.
Yeah,
I
saw the commercial for it, and
Mhm.
it looked really like what is that movie? Ryan Reynolds was, I think, in the remake of it. It's about like this house, and it's almost like The Shining, where like it's like psychological shit is going on in the house. It just reminded me of something like that. It's that
Oh, like
like
the Amityville horror?
yeah, Amityville horror
Oh, okay.
movie. Just reminded me of that in that like it's people kind of separated trauma and then psychological horror. Those kind of elements are
Yeah, I feel like the Amityville horror was
yeah.
kind of more of like a just straight up like haunted house movie, whereas this is definitely you're like it's not really ghosts. It's not.
It's psychological.
Yeah, it's definitely like a psychological thing.
She
But
goes insane.
I recommend people check it out though. It's one of those movies like when we went to the theater and saw it, like we were one of four or we were two of four people in the whole theater. And I'm like, man, it sucks that movies like this come out and nobody fucking watches them. Like these really creative, interesting, really beautifully shot movies. Just like nobody fucking goes to see them because everybody just wants to watch the next like Marvel movie or Star Wars movie, which is like I get it. I like those movies too, but I'm like, man, it sucks that I have a um this like I have a feeling that in probably maybe the next 5 to 10 years, like the only movies that are going to be playing at theaters are going to be like the big comic book movies or like the really
Ones
big
that can like afford
popcorn
to do
movies.
it.
Yeah, and I think all these like smaller, more art house or indie type films, I think they're just going to start going to streaming services because they probably make more money getting paid by Netflix to have that movie stream than that they're going to make in the box office. Um,
Yeah, I don't
and
know.
like, and what's interesting is theaters
I
are
don't know.
upcharging for tickets now. Like when I got tickets for Doctor Strange, they were like $3 more than they were for like tickets to other movies. So like theaters are even like
Yeah.
catching on to the fact that they can charge you more because you're gonna watch this movie at the theater regardless. So they're gonna get $10 out of you per ticket
Yeah.
instead of like the normal 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a funky business that
well, I think COVID messed with things a
situation.
lot too and
Yeah,
changed.
probably
Like
fucked them.
I think that gave streaming a big leg up. Like
Of course.
suddenly people are like, oh, I'll just wait for it to go to HBO Max or Amazon or Netflix or whoever's
Yeah,
getting
it
it.
just gives you options and it
Mhm.
spreads the market out. Which is too bad for anybody.
Yeah.
Just the way it goes. My recommendation is going to be something that I'm stealing directly from you, I'm sure, which is Ricky Gervais's new stand-up.
Oh, excellent.
I think it's called Supernature.
Yep.
And it's really great. He's great. He does a great job. He's very casual in his delivery, and he's very like every man kind of character. He's very
Hmm.
self-deprecating, very on the like he knows he's really rich, but he's trying not to be too pretentious, but trying to be himself, and he's like a pretty decent person in general. It seems like he's like very much not full of shit and says it like it is, and kind of doesn't give a fuck, and it's really fun to listen to him.
I like that just nobody is safe in his stand-up. Like he makes jokes about everyone, like himself, every group, every ideology. You know what I mean? Like he does, like nobody's kind of safe from him. He's not really picking on one particular like group of people over any other ones. Because obviously there was like a lot of hubbub when that came out about transphobia because of some of his
Yeah.
trans jokes.
Yeah.
And it's like, as I was listening to him, like, I don't know, he just sounds like he's just poking fun at like a group of people, like he does with Christians and with, with all these other groups of people. Like it's not like he's just spending 90 minutes talking only about trans people. Um, and he even talks about how, like, when he's writing his jokes, he writes them from like the most ignorant position of somebody who would actually believe those things. So he's like, almost every joke that I write is me being a different character who believes this thing when I don't in fact believe any of it. I think people just, it's fucking comedy and everybody takes it so seriously. Not everybody, but like a very vocal group of people. It's like, it's meant to challenge you a little bit and to poke fun at you and give you a chance to laugh. It's okay. It's okay to laugh a little bit at yourself.
Yeah, I think he is great, and I take comedy very seriously, and I think he's great at it.
Yeah. I enjoyed his special more than the new Louis C.K. one was like pretty good, but it was, I actually think his last one was better than his newest one.
Yeah, I'm just cheap, and I'm not going to go on his website and try to set up an account and spend $5.
Oh, really? Yeah,
it's too hard. It's too hard, bud. Put it on Netflix. I'll watch it. But I'm just super lazy and I don't want to deal with it, and I'll do it. It'll show up somewhere eventually, and I'll get it and I'll watch it, and it'll be fine. I don't mind. I don't need everything right now.
I forgot about it because, like, I remember you sending me like the infomercial thing that he did for it, and I was like, oh, I'll have to check that out. And then I just kind of spaced it for a couple months. And then it was actually after I watched the Ricky Gervais one, I was like, oh shit, I should watch that new Louis C.K. one. I forgot about it. So I just went to his site. I think I just spent the $25 and just bought all of them. So now I just can watch any of his stand-ups that he's got on there and listen to them. I was like, because it was like $10, I think, to buy the newest one by itself. So I was like, for an extra $15, you just get all of them. So if I feel like going back, I have access to them.
It's a great deal, and I should do it for sure.
Yeah, I'll
pay him money. So we're going to end it in just a few minutes, but I wanted to end with an email we got. It's from the only person who's really emailed us. I think there's only been one, and I'm going to call him DB for short. And can I read it?
Of course.
Okay, here it goes. Listening to you two talk about bodybuilding inspired me to share my thoughts on the matter. Thanks for reading in advance. This is in response to the episode last time about bodybuilding. And then we also talked about other stuff. Bodybuilding is not about being healthy or sexy or athletic. It is about pushing the body to its limit and worshiping the human form. They put their bodies through hell to show off a godlike physique to be admired and idolized. Countless hours in the gym, dehydration, dangerous weight cutting, and maintaining a lifestyle that makes normal people like us question their choices. It is a sacrifice they make to ultimately objectify themselves, turning into a piece of art. We look at these men in awe of the crafted Olympian form on display. While I can't speak for all women, a very large majority of them are turned off by big muscular men like bodybuilders, but they gawk at the physique and gaze upon the hyper-exaggerated masculine form. Think of bodybuilders like supermodels. The term supermodel conjures images of women incredibly skinny to the point where they can't count her ribs. They have dangerously unhealthy diet, often dehydrating themselves. I'm going to kind of speed past this. Many of them have unconventional and otherworldly bone structure. Their faces, while symmetrical, I would assume, are often laden with unorthodox features, blah, blah, blah. They sacrifice all in an effort to have somebody think, wow, she's beautiful and I want to fuck her. We look at them and think, wow, oh no, sorry, I paraphrased incorrectly. Yet we still look at them in awe on the cover of a magazine or strutting down the runway. We never look at a supermodel and think, wow, she's beautiful and I want to fuck her. We look at them and think, wow, she's beautiful and I want to keep staring at her. I hope this gave you a different perspective or helped you realize some thoughts of your own on the matter. So it's
Okay.
essentially like a type of art form as opposed to a type of practical implementation of athleticism,
Yeah, I
which I
think I
think is
remember.
accurate. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I remember like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something saying that at some point, like in an
Are you?
interview or
Was that
maybe one of his.
person Arnold? Is that who's writing to us?
Maybe that'd be fucking wild.
It's not in a
That
German accent
we'd be way more
or
popular.
Austrian accent.
Um, yeah. I
Anyway,
mean,
that's it. They wrote that to us.
I'm happy that they wrote in. That's cool. The feedback's always nice. But to be honest, I don't even remember
That's
what we
not really
fucking said about
feedback.
it.
It's just their
No,
comments
yeah.
on bodybuilding or bodybuilders and models as they are just sculpting their bodies as opposed to attempting to go on an adventure or something. They're not trying to solve a problem. They're trying to exemplify some human ideal.
I almost forgot we even talked about bodybuilding because we like every
It
show
was-
we talk about so much stuff, and it was
Yeah.
probably like a couple episodes ago, so it's probably like a month and a half. So
Well, it's been a while since we talked and had a
Uh-huh.
podcast, but that was our last one, which was
Oh, was it?
it was our
Okay.
last one, which
Fuck,
was
man.
bodybuilding, and we talked about Roe versus Wade. But
yeah. Because those are mutually exclusive.
they're
topics.
very different worlds, unless there's a lot of abortions going on in the bodybuilding world, which I kind of doubt. Actually, I think it can be a somewhat conservative group, but maybe not. I know that they're pro-military.
The bodybuilders.
A lot of like a lot of the people who are in that are like pro military, pro police kind of folks. I don't know why that correlates, but I think it does.
Well, you would know more than I do because you have filmed the
I
show
filmed
you
some
do.
of the shows.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
So
But,
I guess that's going to do it for the podcast,
Woo.
right?
Yeah,
we're
I think
like
so.
keeping
That's
it
good.
to a tight 40
Tight,
40,
Hey,
40
yeah.
for 40. Because we ain't paying for pro. Fuck y'all.
Fuck you, Zoom.
Fuck you, Zoom. Fuck you, Zoom. Fuck you, Zoom. So go to joesnotesblog.com to see the photos that I talked about and to see the photos I took at Joey's art show and to get a link to his website. He's also got a new Instagram for his pumpkin carving, and he's going to go to Monster Palooza, or he's there now. Maybe that was already going on, or that's soon at least. And what else? If you want to email us, go to fleetingthoughtspodcast@gmail.com. And I'm almost done with Channing's book, so I'll be putting out a review of that soon.
Oh, yeah, I'll be curious
I'm
to see how
getting
you feel
very
about that
close to the end. It's very intense at the end, and I'm in suspense to find out what's going to happen. They're taking a certain somebody to a certain place to do a certain thing that's not that thing, but he figured out it's the different thing, and then he just mentions it. Yeah, anyway, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, you're like right at the kind of the climactic moment.
Yes,
sort of.
I'm gonna have a climactic moment myself here pretty soon.
Jesus, okay.
No, just I mean, lots of different. Like I'm gonna play some guitar.
Oh, okay.
I have lots of highs in my day. I get high every day. Smoke.
You gotta live your best life
every day. That's our new intro song.
Smoke weed every day.
Smoke weed. Yeah, I mean, I'm not stealing it from nobody. It's brand new.
You made it up with your own creative ideas.
I did.
All on your own.
It's all mine. Give it to me. Go to drdre.com. Because we've been talking about doctors.
Oh, yeah.
Call back.
drdre.com. I'm gonna go to drdre.com right now. Is that even a real
see if it
it is a real site.
It's gotta be, right?
drdre.com.
Does it look like it's from the 80s? Because
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
it looks fairly modern.
Does it look like Pinkman's website from Breaking Bad? That's just like boobs.
I always whenever I go to a website, I always scroll to the bottom to see if it was made with Squarespace for some reason. It's like my weird habit when I go to like
I know,
person's like personal website. But I'm sure he's super rich and can make lots of money and just hires a professional. So
yeah, he probably sells pills. That's gonna do it for us for the Fleeting Thoughts podcast. See you next time.
See ya.
Bye.